Welcome to today's Country Cooking. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we're going to be making checkerboard chili, Bennigan's cornbread, honey butter, and peanut butter Leicester pie. So we're going to start with the cornbread. I have 2 cups of unbleached flour, all-purpose flour, and 2 cups of yellow cornmeal. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of baking powder, teaspoon of salt, okay, I'm going to just combine these real quick. Okay, now I'm going to add 3 beaten eggs, a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, you can use butter on this if you like, because I'm going to be making honey butter to go with the bread. I've decided to use the vegetable oil, and so it's not quite so rich. And then we've got our buttermilk, this will be 2 cups. We'll blend this together. Forgot the sugar, 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay, you want to do it just so it combines really well. You don't want to over mix cornbread. And we're going to bake it in a 12 by 11 by 1 pan. We'll spray it. If you'd rather have your cornbread be thicker, you can bake it in a 9 by 13 pan. You just need to increase your baking time by about probably 5 or 10 minutes. This makes a good bread to have with chili, and it's something you can make for, you know, a party, a Super Bowl party or something like that, or if you just have a get together. And it's this time of the year you start to think about dishes that you can make that are on the stove instead of heating up your oven. So that's why I chose the chili, although the bread only bakes for 20 minutes, so not too bad. So we're going to put it in the oven. Got the oven preheated at 425. Okay. Now we'll start with our checkerboard chili. I'm going to grab the chicken here. I have 2 pounds of chicken breast that's been skinned and boned, and I've cut it into pieces about like this. They say 1-inch pieces. I like them a little bit smaller. They're a little easier to eat. So we'll throw them in our soup pot and get that going. And then we're going to add a yellow onion that I have chopped, not diced. You want it a little bit larger than dicing. and a red pepper, a sweet red pepper. There again, it's chopped, not diced, so it's a little bit larger than a dice. My hands are so wet I can't open up my little jar. I've got my garlic in here. We're going to press that in. Takes 4 cloves. Here again, you can use, if you have fresh garlic on hand, that's what I prefer to use, and if I don't, I use the garlic that's already pressed in the jar. You can buy in the produce section of your grocery store. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to let this cook on the stove for just about 5 minutes, just so that the chicken starts to turn white on the outside. And while we're doing that, I'm going to make the honey butter for the cornbread. We have, this is kind of easy, it's 3/4 cup of honey, 3/4 cup of powdered sugar that I have sifted, and 3/4 cup of butter. I'm going to just quick melt this a little bit. We use this honey butter for a lot of things. When I make popovers or something like that, it's always makes kind of a nice treat when you have something like that. So this just a little bit. And we'll add our other ingredients. Now when you make this, and if you're not going to be using it right away, you may want to store it in the refrigerator, but before you're going to be serving it, take it out of the refrigerator for 15 minutes or so, and then it'll be easier to spread. And then also I add a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, that's all there is to it. We'll put it back in one of these containers. Now remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, just give the girls a call and they'll be happy to get you the recipe. So let's go over here and we'll check our chicken. We're going to take a quick break. We'll let this cook a few more minutes. We'll be right back.
Sign up for HD or DVR from Valley this month and receive 2 months free and free installation. Call us today at 437-2615. You don't want to miss out on this offer.
All right, we're going to add our seasonings. So we need a teaspoon of cumin. Two tablespoons of chili powder, and I have to tell you a story about this. This recipe originally called 4 tablespoons of chili powder, and it gets really zesty. And if you like it that way, go ahead and use 4, but we use 2 when I make this. So, and if you like it milder than that, you can start with 1, and then add as you go if you feel like you want a little more. But 4 was just a little bit much for us. Coriander is next, and we've got a teaspoon of that. Coriander, if you don't know, is the dried form of cilantro, which is the kind of the spice that you hear so much about these days. We need a little bit of salt, teaspoon and a half. Here again, this original recipe called for a little more salt than that, but we kind of felt like it was just a little bit salty, so we cut it down. And that's what you want to do when you try a new recipe and it's not exactly what you would like it to be. Make it your own. Do what you want to do to make it taste better. Okay, so we're going to let these cook for just a few minutes, about another 5 minutes or so. Let the seasonings kind of penetrate the meat, and then we'll start adding the rest of our ingredients. So we'll start on the pie. I have a pre-baked 9-inch pie crust, and so we're going to take a half cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, a tablespoon of butter, and 2 to 3 teaspoons of water. We're going to melt that on the stove. Take a peek at the cornbread. Looking good. A few more minutes and that'll be ready. Okay, we've let this simmer for 3 to 5 minutes, and we're going to add the rest of our ingredients then. I have a can of black beans that I have drained and rinsed and drained again. A can of great northern beans. Here again, I have drained them, rinsed them, and drained them again. 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. I just buy the petite diced, or you can use your home canned tomatoes, whatever you like to use. Those you put in with the juice and all. Pour them in. And then to that you add a can of beer. I have 12 ounces. Just choose your favorite beer, and you won't have the beer flavor. I'm not a beer drinker, but there's just something about that mixture with everything that will help all the flavors simmer together. Okay, now we're going to let this simmer uncovered for about 45 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit, and we'll just let this cook away. Now the concoction for the base of the pie is just about melted, so I'm going to stir in a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. You just blend that in real well. Okay, now I'm going to spread that in the base of the pie shell. Some peanut butter pies call for like an Oreo cookie crust or graham cracker crust or a vanilla wafer crust. This one uses a traditional pie crust, which is kind of nice because for me it's just easier. So But when you put this sweet mixture in the bottom, it kind of gives it a base. And just pull it all the way up the sides. Like that. Now we're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill for about 10 minutes, as long as it takes for us to make our filling.
Protect your investment with Smart Farm monitoring from Valley Telecommunications. Get video surveillance cameras for your home, shop, or barn. Sign up now and receive 5% off of Clear to There cameras and 1 month free of off-site storage.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Alright, cornbread's ready to come out. Just like that. Set it over here and let it cool. And then we're going to start working on the filling for the pie. I have a cup of butter that I've melted. And to that I'm going to add a cup of firmly packed brown sugar. We're going to combine those. Now we're going to add our creamy peanut butter, and that is a cup of that. Pretty easy. Now this you have to mix for about a minute. We're going to grab our Cool Whip. This is a 12-ounce container. When I lived in St. Louis, this was a popular thing down there. Being close to the South, the peanut butter pie was very popular. This is a lot of Cool Whip, so I'm going to kind of do it in 2 steps. Finish it off with the spatula. Sometimes the mixer needs a little help. Okay. Now we'll pour it in the pie pan again. one of those pies that you can make up ahead of time. You can even make it up a couple of days in advance if you are going to be running short of time when you're entertaining or something. And it'll darken. It looks really light right now, but it darkens as it chills. Okay, I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator, and then we'll make the final topping for it, which is a chocolate topping. Take a break while I clean up. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Remember that all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll be sure to get you a copy of this recipe. We're going to do the final topping for the pie. Here again we have another half cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, tablespoon of butter, 2 to 3 teaspoons of milk, and a teaspoon and a half of corn syrup. And we're going to melt this, and we'll put this over the top. And while your chili is cooking, you want to stir it every once in a while. Keep it, mixing up and everything. It smells wonderful. And won't be too long. And then we're going to add our 10 ounces of cold packed cheese. Cold packed cheese is crock pot cheese, in case you don't know. I didn't know when I first started making this recipe, so I had to Google it. Anyway, shortly before you're going to serve it, then you would stir in your crock pot cheese. If you don't have crock pot cheese, you can just grate 10 ounces of a sharp cheddar cheese. We'll take a quick break while we finish melting this, and then we'll put it on the pie, and we'll be ready to add the cheese and just about ready to eat. Be right back. Okay, we have the chocolate melted. We're going to get the pie back out. And then we're going to spread this over the pie. I always kind of start in the center and work it out. Okay, looks like this. We're going to put it back in to just chill that top for a minute. Okay, we're going to add the cold packed cheese, or cheese that comes in a crock pot, or comes in a crock. And like I said, if you can't find cheese in a crock, then you can just grate an extra sharp cheddar. And then you kind of stir that in, let it dissolve. Okay, I'm going to let that cook for just a minute. We'll cut our cornbread. On the plate. We're going to take a quick break while I cut the pie and we'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, all right, I think we're ready to serve. Silver. I always splooch. Okay, I'm going to decorate the pie a little bit. You can use Cool Whip if you like. I just happen to have some Ready Whip, and so I like to give it kind of a little tough like that, and then sprinkle some chopped peanuts on the top. And there you go. We have our Bennigan's cornbread, our honey butter, our checkerboard chili, and our peanut butter Leicester pie. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Country Cooking, and we'll see you next time.